I don't understand why people think that Kamala Harris isn't black, because she has one parent who's black. He's Jamaican. Her father's Jamaican and her mother's Indian, right? And then she lived in Oakwood for 7 years, I believe, and then she moved to Oakland. What did I say? Oakwood. How embarrassing. She lived in Oakland. What an SCA. She lived in Oakland, California for 7 years, and then she went to Canada. For me, if you have one parent who's black and you choose to identify yourself as black, you're black babes, okay? It's not down to anybody else to say whether or not they think you're really more Indian than black. Shut the hell up. First of all, she's actually biracial. If she chooses to identify as black, she can be black. I mean, whether or not in the past she's had very interesting statements and she's stood, in my opinion, sometimes on the wrong side of justice when it pertains to black people being incarcerated, she has actually moved away from that. The bottom line is she's a black woman.
But to be honest with you, this is an old game. They did that to Barack Obama, saying that he wasn't black. He was mixed.
He identified as black.
Exactly.
Allow the man to be black.
Exactly. They did that because they struggle.
Does she really identify
She
as black?
identifies as black, and they struggle to.
Okay, fine.
Because you know what? If she was doing something stupid, if she was doing something wrong, if people didn't like her, the media would have no issue with identifying her as a black woman. I think they struggle to associate blackness with success, with winning, with running for. That's why they questioned Barack Obama. When in actual fact, if they're giving that description of criminal on the phone saying what kind of, it's a black American, they'll say, they wouldn't say, we're not sure if they're black. Oh, they're with their mum and the mum seems white. Like, doesn't. I think it's just a game to try to like distract people.
I just think it's really grossly unfair.
Yeah.
And it's distraction tactics. And yeah, like, actually give her accolades. She was selected to be the vice president based on the work that she's done. And whether or not you think her work has been good or not, like, that's who Joe Biden chose. So go with it.
Not even that as well. I think they're also questioning her blackness in terms of the way America uses the word black. So that there's like black Americans, there's people from the Caribbean, there's Africans, and they don't, and so people are questioning if she is black. People have said that even on the voting ballots, they don't, like, anyone who is, they don't have like Caribbean or African or anything on their voting ballots. They just have black American. So now, really and truly, if that's the only way for someone to identify and they identify as black American, why are you questioning it now and saying, and actually they're pulling into this fact that, that she's not even black. She's her parents are from, or her dad is from Jamaica, which is not America, and that's not part of America.
Those are people that don't actually understand. Those are people that don't understand that Jamaica is a country full of black people.
Yeah.
Most people in America, I think, understand that Jamaicans are black people.
Yeah, no, but I think there's also
what she's saying is there's nuances. You can't have a system. So, like, I remember a police officer was saying, when someone gets pulled over, you say white or black person. You don't say, maybe Jamaican, or maybe African American, or maybe they're like from Nigeria, so they're actually not in America. No one cares. It's white or black, and that's how it is. So now we can't now discover and have all these nuances when we're saying, is she really black? Well, actually, your system and whole way of life in America is about whether someone's white or black. You don't have any other nuances, not when it comes to like, I guess, like official documentation. So allow her to identify as black because that's what she says she is.
No, if that's what she says she is, then that's what she says she is. But what I'm saying is, this is the same woman who I don't really feel good about her politics, right? And this is before she was chosen.
Yeah.
I've heard of her before.
Yeah.
Now that I see that she's chosen, I'm like, what are they doing now?
Yeah.
Are they just throwing a black woman in there just to appease everyone and say, look, the Democrats are still doing... So that's my issue.
Yeah, which is a different issue.
So whether she's black or not is another thing. In American sense, she's black.
Yeah.
It's fine. In the UK, she probably wouldn't be.
But also, I remember speaking to...
I actually don't think so. I think in the UK, she would be considered... actually, no, they say mixed. They do use mixed race more.
She's probably quarter is best at best.
Oh, that's
okay. So yeah, I thought you were gonna say. I was gonna say something else.
Don't say that, friend.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna
another time.
Yeah. We thought you were gonna say quarter cast.
No.
Then we go back into the podcast. So, but I think I think the question is, even I was looking at some influencers, like pages and stuff, like when Kamala Harris was
Elected.
Yeah, nominated. And they were saying that they were getting messages. So, like, say, for example, there's one girl who's Haitian, and she was saying she's so happy that there's a Caribbean girl, woman that might be vice president. And the Black American people, she was getting responses saying that, oh, like, you guys are not, there's a in the way that people refer to themselves within the Black community, there's Black, there's I don't know, Spanish, there's Caribbean, and there's African.
In New York.
And other East Coast cities.
Okay.
Even what's his name? Kadeem and Deval.
Yeah.
They were talking about how there's a
divide.
like the Caribbeans call themselves Caribbean and the Black people and Caribbeans usually call themselves black as well.
So Tyson Beckford isn't Black in America? Of course he is.
He's
Delroy
Jamaican.
Shirley Ralph, Joey Badass, Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, but they're all dark-skinned, Lyndon.
Yeah, but they're Jamaican. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if they come if they say they're Jamaican or not. Everyone knows that Jamaicans are Black.
Yeah.
Anyway,
in New York, they're a little bit more specific because obviously there's a lot of Jamaicans in Brooklyn. There's a lot of Dominicans that want to be separate. Fair enough. But in America, Jamaicans are just Black people.
Mm. Yeah, but I was gonna say,
including what's that guy, Colin Powell.
Oh yeah.
And Louis Farrakhan. Wait, continue.
So I was going to say, when Andrew and I were in DC, and I don't know if you remember, we went to go meet my friend, and we were talking about who Biden was going to choose as his running mate, and they were saying it was either going to be Kamala Harris or it was going to be Keisha. What's her name? Keisha Long. What's her name? The mayor of Atlanta. You don't know her name? And they don't like Keisha. I don't know why. I think they think she hasn't responded to the COVID situation very well. Lance Bottoms. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they were saying it's either going to be Kamala or Keisha, and my friend was saying, I think they're going to choose Kamala, but they're going to get a backlash.
No, they were thinking about who will run.
Oh, who will run?
Yeah, and who they want to run.
You're right. Who's going to run? Anyway, he was saying, I actually think it might be Kamala. Or Kamala, how they pronounce him, I'm not sure. But he said she's going to receive backlash. And I asked why, and he's like, because you know what? Her husband's white, actually. And some of her policies, etc., have come across they seem to come across very harsh on communities and a lot of other Black communities as well. And I said, oh, that's going to be difficult. Whereas Keisha, she's mayor of Atlanta. I don't think her policies are as strict, and she's married to a Black guy with Black children, so it's awkward. And I guess the real question is are you deemed Black if you're dating or married to somebody who's not your culture? Like, are you deemed Black if you marry someone of a different race? And are you deemed
Black enough?
Are you deemed pro-Black if you're married to someone or dating somebody in an interracial relationship? Because I don't believe they would be questioning Kamala if she's married to a Black guy.
Yeah, it'll probably help her case.
Yeah.
But why does she need help though?
I think the issue is mainly her politics. It doesn't really help Black people at all.
But do you not really? Do you think that if she was married to a Black guy and she had the same politics, they'd be saying, "Oh, is she Black?" No, they wouldn't.
No, obviously, that's what I just said. I said it will help her case if she was married to a Black man. But the fact that she's married to a white man and her politics are set the way they are, it just looks like this person is not going to help me, and that's what Black people should be thinking in America: is this person going to help me or not? And if you look at Kamala Harris, at the moment, it doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
And
whether she's Black or not doesn't matter. Is she the right person? Probably not, but we'll see.
But even outside of, are we moving on from? Are we going into that, or should we wait until the 15 minutes?
I've seen there's a lot of Jamaicans in America that you didn't really realize.
Yeah, but I knew that already.
I know that already, but I was saying, so this is not for the podcast, I guess.
It's not,
but Jessie Wu was saying that she gets that all the time.
Gets what?
Like this, she's Haitian. She gets that all the time, where she feels like every time she tries to celebrate like Black wins and stuff like that, she's always reminded by Black Americans that she's not Black, she's Caribbean. And she's like, but we're all Black.
I think there are people who take pleasure in reminding other black people that we're separate and different. And I speak about this all the time. I think I've noticed that for a long time. And I think in England, it's not quite like that. But I think in America, even though Lyndon was saying everyone knows that Jamaicans are black, yes. But I feel like they're almost saying it as like yeah, okay, we're letting you in. We'll let you in. Just quickly close the door. We're not opening or welcoming or celebrating with open arms. And I mean, I can say that because my cousins who are in America, who are Jamaican, they say, actually, it's other black people in schools, universities, when I go to get food, who are like, oh, where are you from? You're Jamaican. Oh, okay. You have a different understanding of what it means to be African American in this country. You don't really understand because you're not African American. And so that is reiterated to them over and over again. So I believe that Jessie Woo is saying, she can't celebrate a win because she's not deemed African American enough and she's deemed other.
Biggie's Jamaican.
I know.
There's like a lot of people that Americans. There's a lot of people that Americans love, and they remember. You can't tell me that they're not black American people.
Yeah, but
they have Jamaican descent.
But people
There's loads of them from New York.
People do say it all the time.
They don't say anything about B.I.G.
Well, they wouldn't.
You don't say enough about Kerry Washington.
But they choose. They choose when they want to, or when they can ignore it, when they're not. So they can say, "Oh, he's from Brooklyn," and he's a New Yorker. And then there's other times when they will look into it and say, "No, actually, no, that person is not."
I think if Kamala was really on this black thing, I don't think anyone would have a problem. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's because she's married to a white guy.
That's also... It doesn't look good for her with those things at the same time.
But I just want to say, I think if it was...
It's not because she's light skinned.
I don't think it's anything to do with her being light skinned. I think it's to do with the fact that she is very happy in an interracial marriage. And I think that presents problems for people to accept and deal with, especially in America. And I think people really struggle to understand. People, like you said, people really struggle to believe, are you going to represent me? Are you going to represent me? Because it doesn't look like you will, and you're married to a white guy. I think it's the same problem that, Tamira, Maori, whatever her surname is. The girls from Sister. One's married to a black guy, one's married to a white guy. And actually, some of the things that I've read underneath the Tamira, who's married to a white guy, a very wealthy man, actually. I think his family are very wealthy, but that's a separate conversation. So he's got old money. Some of the comments underneath her posts were absolutely abhorrent. She's actually not one of my favorite people. Like I prefer some of the other hosts because she's on the real. Sorry,
I prefer her to her sister.
Oh, okay. I prefer me too, but she's not one of my favorite people. But some of the comments she gets, people are like, "You're a half breed, you're this, that, and the other. I knew you never liked black people." And then people even go as far as to say, "I've looked through your Instagram and you don't have any black friends. Is that because you're married to a white guy? I knew you were never down for the struggle." Meanwhile, her mum is a whole black woman, a whole dark-skinned, natural hair wearing black woman, and her father's white. Yeah, Italian, and I just think
and her mum's is Bayesian, I think.
Oh, okay. And people really, it's almost like they're going after her, and they're definitely going after her in a way that's very different to how they go after her twin sister, because she's married to a white guy. And they really struggle to be like, I think she said something about gun control or whatever. There was an incident in America, and I think like a number of children in a school were killed or injured.
It was was that the one, or when it was in a bar and a lot of teenagers were killed?
There were, to be honest, it was probably...
her niece was killed
this is a separate one, but this is, to be honest, it's America, so there's multiple incidents.
Yeah.
But whenever she talks about gun crime or whatever, or when people have been injured, the comments underneath her posts are really disgusting. People will say to her, yeah, well, that's because you married a white guy, and actually, if your white husband's family didn't do X, Y, Z. And I just think people really struggle.
It makes sense why they struggle, though, in America. Because for so long, you've had people ruling the country that don't care about you. They don't care about you.
But it
was legal to have slaves. What do you mean? That country has a history of being super white. A lot of countries are white supremacists, but in America, it's quite blatant, right? So of course you're going to have questions when you see someone up there that's supposed to represent you, but they're not. It makes sense for them to be. I'm glad that they are actually asking questions of people that are not even just people that are ruling the country, people that are meant to be seen as like celebrities, are people that are meant to be seen to be respected.
But did you hear the kind of comments that they're putting underneath her page?
Because people are angry and chatting nonsense. Of course, people, I mean, all comments of every video or anything you've seen, you're going to have some idiots in there. Of course, you're going to find that.
But is it fair?
But it makes sense why people feel that way.
I think what you're trying to say is that you can understand the hurt or the reason why someone would say that out of spite, but it doesn't justify it. Like I can understand the hurt and why someone might lash out, but it doesn't justify it, because to be honest with you, that everybody has the freedom to marry whoever they want, and they don't, if she was married to a slave owner, then I would understand those kind of comments. But because she's married to a white man,
and her father's white,
her father is white as well, so I don't know if they're also going to her mom's page and writing those same things down. I just feel like, is it justified? To me, I don't know.
I mean, I just explained the feeling. Just whether it's justified saying what you want underneath someone's picture or anything. Obviously, it's not justified to do that. But I understand where the feeling comes from.
It's one thing to have a feeling, isn't it? It's another thing to have an action, because we can all feel how we want to, but like, to be honest, Lyndon, you might feel or even understand, but you're probably not the kind of person to go and write those things underneath.
Exactly.
Of course you're not, and that's the difference between a normal person and a person who's just taking it too far, because you might have your own thoughts around, oh, I'm not too sure if actually her views and her lifestyle represent me and my personal black struggle, but to go and write it on someone else's post and express it in such horrible language
and antagonize her,
it's awful, because she's actually got like thoughts and feelings. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I guess for me, the thing, it comes down to trust. And maybe what I think we're saying is people trust people who look like them. And if you represent what I represent, which is I'm a black woman and I want to marry a black man, then I'm going to trust you. But can I just be controversial and ask the question? If she was a man and she was a black guy who was married or dating a white woman, would people go ahead and put those same comments underneath her post to the same extent?
We had conversations about certain black men marrying white women and that being a problem.
Oh,
have we not had conversations about that?
No, there's no silence. No, there's no silence. The people still will speak and write horrible comments underneath. To the same extent,
would they say
I
don't trust you? I don't know. For me, it seems like it kind of is coming across like, I don't trust you. You don't represent me.
Yo, everything's not just man versus woman thing, you know. I really think that they're both.
Lyndon, I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, so
that's not what I'm saying.
So what are you comparing? If it's a man there, that's a black man, marrying a white woman, people are going to think a certain way about that. Yeah. Especially in America, where their identity and their skin color has formed their experience in that country. Yeah. Of course, they're going to think something. Of course, they're going to.
I think she was asking, is it to the same extent?
Well, that
was actually my question. I said, is it to the same extent?
How do we measure if it's the same extent?
Maybe that's your answer.
I think it's the same extent. I think that maybe women probably care more about this. Maybe. Because I don't care if a man has married a white woman.
I don't care either.
But some people will on both sides. How are we going to say more people care than on one side than the other?
No, we weren't saying that. We're saying
that's what you do if you're measuring the extent.
No, but we can. To me, I don't know if I could measure the extent. That was my answer. You can't. We couldn't measure the extent. I think it is. They might say slightly different things, but to hold the same
because obviously one's a man, one's a woman.
Exactly.
But people have an issue with interracial dating anyway.
Absolutely. So if I'm getting your question right, you're asking, can you be pro-black and be in an interracial relationship?
Yeah.
What do you think, Lyndon?
You can be, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. If you want to be pro-black person and lead black people are going to look at you and think, oh, but you married a white woman. I don't know if I can follow you. So in that sense, Joe. So in that, well, I mean, of course he can. Because he can be pro-black and marry someone else that's not black. Of course he can, because you're still black, so you still care about how people will see you and your children, because your children will be black still. So of course you can. But it can make it difficult if the other person that you're with, if they're obviously not black and they don't understand your struggle and you can't talk about it candidly with them, then obviously that's a problem. But if you can't speak to your white wife about how it feels to be black make it a bit difficult for you to keep fighting this fight because it's just going to get a bit long.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to be down for the cause, boo. So when I knock, you need to knock. When we're going to like march, I was going to say fight, but maybe not fight. No, fight. March, fight. When we're standing on the neck of racism, we need to be doing that together. And I need not to be leading you. We need to be doing it together. Like it needs to be not something you're doing because it's my passion and hobby. There needs to be a fire inside of you.
It's a joint.
And I feel like that can definitely happen for people who aren't black. It's just not my preference. I want to be with somebody who has a lived experience of being black, as opposed to, oh, you know what, I grew up and I understand your struggle and I'm here to fight. I want you to have lived it. That's me personally. But I think there are people who can be pro-black and be in interracial relationships. That's I think it's a nuance of their relationship. That's something you have to deal with. Like when you go to bed at nighttime with your spouse. Do you know what I mean?
I think, I'm surprised because I thought at least one of us would say no.
You thought I was going to say
No.
You thought I was going to say no. That's what you were
Once again,
surprise.
Lyndon is talking on my behalf, but I said I thought at least one of us would say no.
When Lyndon was talking, I was like this.
No.
It's not for me. It's not for me.
But you know what? To be honest, I think that you definitely can be pro-black and date outside of your race. I think it just needs to not be I think it gets confusing because some people who are not pro-black tend to be seen purposely dating outside of their race, and so someone may date outside their race just because of like happenstance, and because it presents the same. It's like maybe just because you're in a relationship with someone who's not black, people can take it as like, oh, this person is not pro-black, or that can be an indicator when it actually can just be something. It just happened to be that you are in a relationship and you're married to somebody else.
I do think though, if you're pro-black and that's what that's like the fire that is within you, and that's what you're looking for, somebody who's got commonalities. I feel like if that's something that you're really striving for to see replicated in your partner, you probably wouldn't meet that many people who aren't black who have that same desire and commonalities. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know that many woke white men, who are down there for the cause. And do you know what I mean? Like proactively bettering themselves, their communities, and making a sustainable change. I don't know that many. There could be some. I don't know where they are.
But then again, on the other side, I know that there's black women who are pro-black who want to see that replicated in their partner who have not met pro-black husbands.
Friends?
So,
yes, true.
To be honest,
where are the pro-black
it's not a straight line. It's not a straight line. It's here, there, and a little bit of everywhere.
It's true.
So I think that if all that was needed is to want to see that replicated in your partner, then you'd have a pro-black black partner, then everybody who's pro-black would have a black partner.
It's
most likely. Doesn't really happen like that. So I think that people shouldn't feel restricted.
I mean,
Lyndon's face is like this. I do not co-sign this message.
I mean, people are free to do whatever they want. Yeah. Fine. But all I said were practical things that make it more difficult for you to be. And when I'm not just talking about just being black and like being black. I'm talking about being pro-black. Being pro-black means you. What?
I know the difference. Yeah. I'm asking you to explain the difference for maybe people, our viewers or listeners.
Come on, Wordsworth.
Michael Jordan is black. Umar Johnson is pro-black.
That's a good one.
There's a difference.
Umar Johnson's not. Who's he married to?
Nobody.
He's not married to anyone, isn't it? No. He's not married. He's not dating. It
doesn't matter who he's dating. I'm talking about who's black and who's pro-black.
Okay.
It's like Killer Mike went on the Breakfast Club and he said,
Killer Mike is a better one, to be fair.
Yeah, he is. Killer Mike. Now, I don't agree with everything he says. He says a lot of things about drugs. That's not really my story or my song. In Jesus' name. Actually, yeah, in Jesus' name. However, he went on the Breakfast Club and he was saying to DJ Envy, which I thought was a bit rude. He was like, I married a black woman unlike others. I married a black woman unlike other people. And he kept reiterating, he's like, I married a black woman unlike my peers.
But DJ Envy, the woman identifies as black.
No.
She's not Latino.
I'm just telling you.
She's Jamaican.
DJ Envy's wife?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Killer Mike went on there and he was saying,
He wasn't talking about DJ Envy though.
Oh, okay.
He was talking about somebody else.
He was saying, I'm pro-black and I'm married to a black woman. So maybe Angela's saying, could you give an example of a guy who's pro-black, who's married to a black woman, and a guy who's black and not married to a black, who's not pro-black and married to a black woman?
I don't know a pro-black famous person who's married to a white person. I don't know that.
Me either, actually. And maybe that means you. It means you're not. Maybe you can't.
But the thing is,
I do have a friend who's pro-black.
Yeah.
And he's married to a white woman.
And you might. The thing is, you might be black with a black wife, and neither of you are pro-black.
Exactly.
That's okay because that's your commonality. You don't. That's not a problem. It's not an issue. It's not a priority for you.
I'm just saying that like the presence of a black partner does not make you pro-black.
That's true.
In the same way, an absence of a black partner does not make you not pro-black.
That's true.
But if you're pro-black and you're married to a white woman, I'm just saying that a white woman has to be pro-black as well.
Absolutely.
She needs to be.
Has to be a specific type.
Yeah, because it's going to be very difficult for you to be chatting about blackness all day around this white woman.
We were talking about
Trevor Noah, isn't it?
Where did it stop? Do you know where it stopped?
Trevor Noah, so it is roundabout when I talk about Trevor Noah.
Okay.
I like him, but he ain't a leader. And I think the reason that I feel that way is because I know he's dating white women.
Me too.
I know he is.
So there is a real.
So
but he's
to
not
be honest,
pro-black.
there is a little bit.
You do feel like
it's possible for you to be a pro-black and have a non-black wife, but sometimes you gotta just ask a few questions if someone chooses to date. I mean, he's living in New York. There's no reason that he can't find a black woman.
Guys, there's never any reason for a guy not to find a black woman.
No. In New York, there's definitely no reason. So what I'm saying is, if he can't find one, I don't know if he's even looking for one. So that's the reason I feel that way about everything else is fine. I like what he talks about. That's fine. But, he likes the... Let me not say what I was going to say.
No, say it. It's Black No Filter. Say it.
No.
You know who's pro-black as a woman? I would never see her dating a guy who's not black.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae. She's married to a black guy.
Yeah.
She's not married.
She's married.
Yeah.
She's married now.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought
Keeps
she was
her life
still
in a
dating.
DL. No, they're married. Amanda Seales.
Oh, absolutely not.
She would never.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
And if she did, she was going to hiding. Because when you say a lot of things with your chest, you have to continue with that level of chestism.
Chestism. Yeah, she couldn't do it. In fact, like Lyndon said, I can't think of anybody who I know to be like very popular who's pro-black. Like even John Boyega.
No,
Boyega. Whoa.
Boyega. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, Lyndon. I think he could be the voice of the people. Mm-hmm. I think he's pro-black. I don't think he'd come home with a...
But I feel like
he's not. He's
really
Nigerian.
narrowing
He's Nigerian.
So what does that mean?
Pro-black is.
Nigerians mostly stick to their black women.
He's saying Nigerians are different because they generally marry black women.
I when I look at John Boyega, I'm sure that he's going to find a black woman.
I've seen a lot of mixed race children,
Me too.
and one parent is Nigerian. I think you need to. I'm not saying that they disproportionately.
To be honest, you're right. Scratch it. I'm chatting nonsense.
Wow! Everybody pause.
I would like you to leave that in the podcast.
Everybody pause. What you don't know is that Lyndon and I have been having a conversation. Lyndon and I have been having a conversation, I'd say for probably the best part of 37 minutes, if I'm honest, about something, and Lyndon is not backing down. But just now he said, yeah, scrap that. I'm chatting rubbish. So what you said?
Nonsense.
Yes,
Nonsense. Backside. You were right.
Well, let's move on while we still have the victory before he snatches it back.
But in any case, I know about John Boyega because he said it live on TV.
Yeah.
And black men don't really talk about black women like that live on TV.
That's true.
So they don't.
Whoa.
Angela, take the win.
I'm taking it and I'm moving forward. Right. So, talking about being pro-black when you're dating outside of your community? What about those people who would like to date inside of their community? And I'm guessing that every pro-black person, at the very least, does not have anything against dating within their community, and most likely would prefer to date in their community. I'm guessing for a number of different factors, they probably haven't found someone in their community, and one of them just might be they just actually the simple fact that they haven't found another black person that they are compatible with.
Okay.
And that reminds. So I'm just thinking. So you guys have been watching the Indian Matchmaker. Is that what the
Indian Matchmaking?
It's required.
Indian Matchmaking.
Required viewing. Yeah.
That's okay, Lindsay.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, he did enjoy it.
It was interesting.
Okay, so yeah, that's a yes.
The first 2.5 episodes. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that was a yes. So, both
Did you enjoy it, Angela?
I mean, the little bits that I saw were very interesting, and it really,
of course, Angela's seen the least
it really.
How do you manage to do this? How do you manage to say at the beginning of the week, "Oh my gosh, guys, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna set aside time to watch it."
Because I have a very optimistic, like when someone tells me something, I'm willing to do it. But you know when Paul said that the heart is willing but the body is weak.
What you just said was that you consistently underdeliver.
That's not true. To be honest, there's several things I need to deliver on in a week. And if Netflix, let me not say that. I'm sorry.
It's
It's
required viewing.
Let me
Anyway,
rewind.
doesn't matter.
So Linda and I have watched Indian Matchmaking.
I've watched some of it, not all of it. Right. And they've also they've obviously seen that there's probably a problem with Indians who want to marry Indians finding an Indian to marry, and that also seems to be a big thing, especially in that community. Not only that community, but specifically in that community.
So I don't think it's the that way around. I think arranged marriages is how Indians have always done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the woman did say, she said,
There's marriage.
35 years ago there was no love. So they say there are marriages and there are love marriages, right?
Okay.
And she said 35 years ago there were no love marriages.
It was just marriage.
So 35 years ago you are marrying someone that it was arranged for you,
Okay.
basically. So that's just part of their culture to have their parents, all that kind of stuff involved in matching their children.
And I think obviously then it's because they really. They are, what's the word I'm looking for? They want and they have a strong feeling about their children or even themselves marrying within their community.
Yeah.
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 And maybe marrying a specific kind of person within the community because that's why it would be arranged. Like if it was just like marry whoever, it doesn't really matter, then love marriages would probably
Those are things that they take into account, but there are different, like I said, there's different castes and different ethnicities within Indian culture that some people might want to stay in that.
Yeah.
Some people don't mind. But
So I don't know. It seems to work for them. I haven't watched the whole of it, and I don't know.
But maybe explain the premise of the show though.
So, would you like to explain the premise of the show? After cussing me out saying I didn't watch it, I'm definitely not the one that can explain the premise of the show.
So basically, there's a lady called Seema Auntie, and she is like the official matchmaker, and she introduced herself as, "Hi, I'm Seema from Mumbai," and I think that kind of gives a little bit more authenticity. It seems people seem to respond to her and like, "Oh wow, you've come all the way from Mumbai to be a matchmaker." So the show starts with like the introduction of men and women who seemingly want to get married. From the outset, all the families of the people who are single, the single individuals, want them to get married. There are some families that are literally desperate for their children to get married and are even saying things like, "I've got high blood pressure because my son's not married yet. All I want is for my son to get married, and then I can die a happy individual." All this ridiculous dramatics. However, maybe I'm saying ridiculous because to me it is, but it seems to be the driving force for a lot of the people who are looking to find a partner. So they go to meet Seema Auntie, and then they kind of give her like their preferences, and then she comes back with a bio data, which seems to be like a
like a CV.
Yeah, like basically like a CV.
Can I just say,
prospective
this
individuals.
is very, very real, and it happens in the UK. I had a close Indian friends, And that's actually, she said, even here, she came from the Midlands, and she was like, that's how the people are getting married. Like, you have your, we met in uni, and she said, this will help my like CV, my like marriage CV.
Wow.
I have a picture. I know what picture goes on my marriage CV, and then I have to put my degree, what I do, and stuff like that, what my job is, and that goes out to all of the other families who have boys of marrying age or men of marrying age, and then they try to match you up with them. So this is a real thing. Like, this is not just Seema auntie.
Yeah.
It's not just Seema auntie.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So she meets like a variety of people. She meets a really lovely girl who's Guyanese, who apparently has a problem because she's not Indian enough for some potential families, which made me feel really angry, if I'm honest with you. I don't even know how they could look at her and really tell that she wasn't Indian.
They can't.
Enough.
They can't.
But on her bio data, she has to put that her parents are from Guyana, which seemed to put her at a disadvantage. But, you know, that's because anything that's to do with black people or being darker or whatever.
She's not black. I mean,
she's not. She's Indian.
Yeah. Yeah, that part, it didn't make sense. I didn't know if she was Indian and if she followed an Indian religion. I didn't know whether she did or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it was very important for her to marry another Indian person. That's a little bit weird to me because they're from Guyana, where I'm pretty sure that any of the black people get married all the time. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, actually, they don't. Not in Guyana.
Or maybe they do in just Trinidad then.
Yeah, not in Guyana. They're quite separate.
Okay, in Trinidad they do. So, okay, maybe I'm wrong with it. Maybe that's why it's in her culture to find another Indian person.
So that she was a really nice girl, but I guess, anyway, whatever. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it too much, but I thought it was interesting. There was obviously, well, not obviously, but you wouldn't be shocked to find out that there were guys there who had been through a number of different women in terms of receiving their bio data, not like sleeping with different women. Maybe they had, maybe they hadn't. I don't know.
I doubt that. But
Okay. So there was one guy who's his mum had said he's seen over 150 women's like CVs, whatever, and I just want him to get married. He was more concerned about putting on a very elaborate dinner party. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to like showcase to Seema auntie all the things that he could do. He was a jeweler by trade, lived a very lavish lifestyle in Mumbai. I think, in Mumbai. There was another guy whose family was very, very wealthy. He also didn't seem to be in a rush to get married at all. And this is his mum saying, get married because, you know, I've got nothing else for you to accomplish and I've got high blood pressure because you're not getting married. Then on the other end of the scale, we have women who were in Canada and the rest of North America who were looking for people. Some of them weren't really helping their case because they were just not nice people and seemed to be very picky when it came to choosing people. But whatever, that's the premise of the show, right? So you kind of like, the show showcases how they navigate dates and what happens when they receive the bio data and all those sorts of things as a typical dating show. I found it really interesting because I watched the whole season in about 3 days, spoke to some of my Indian friends about it, and I just, you know what, I love it. And to be honest, I'm not mad at the Indian matchmaker, and I would welcome that. I think that she presents opportunities to people that perhaps in a very seamless fashion. You meet her, you get the bio date, so you give her your CV, tell her what you're looking for. You obviously pay your big bucks because you know she's coming from Mumbai and she travels to meet everybody. There's no video, whatever, like everything is very much face to face. I also liked it because it spoke about religion and a little bit of mysticism. She was saying, you know, marriages are made in heaven and I just follow the stars.
Wow.
And I thought that was interesting. So she's like, listen, if you meet and it doesn't work out, that's okay. It just means it wasn't meant to be. But I did think to myself, it's so interesting having been like a fly on the wall of another culture's like process of finding mates. And also another thing that was interesting was that actually everybody seemed to be like on an equal playing field around like income and
no, they're not. There's only certain amounts of people that can afford to pay for Seema.
Oh, that's true.
You're not seeing normal poor Indian people do
No,
do it.
That's not what I meant. Sorry, I meant people who were on the show. They were like saying, I earn 6 figures and he needs to earn 6 figures. I do this.
I think most of the people on the show were earning like a significant amount of money.
So she's obviously an elite matchmaker.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. I don't know if there's any elite black matchmakers
No,
in the UK.
because we don't do that. It's not in our culture to do that.
Yeah, but maybe it could be.
Does it
maybe
need to
it
be?
should be.
Or does it need to be?
Well, the thing is, I
mean,
think the explosion of dating apps shows that people are looking to date and find people wherever they are.
Uh-huh.
There's a need and there's a demand. So, yeah, maybe there should be some sort of... Listen, let me tell you something. If I could be like Sima Auntie, I'd be out here making loads of money. Buying houses here, there, and everywhere. Because I think there is a need. I guess the question is, like, would I, as a matchmaker, be able to balance the need and the demand at the same time? And I don't know.
I think that there are communities that kind of do that already on a very like a much lower level than like Sima Auntie, where they really intentionally try to match their children or no, like they try to guide or arrange some type of meeting with children from other families that they think, okay, you know what, I think your daughter could marry my son, or my son can, do you have any daughters from your family? And it's a mixture. I think some communities look at it as like more than just a relationship, but also like a bringing together of families and stuff like that. So I think they do in certain communities still happen on different scales. Can Black people as a whole benefit from it? I think so. I think that there's people there are people who want to date or marry within their community,
yeah.
And they find it hard, or at least that is the reason that's given when they say, oh wait, you've got a such and such wife from here, or you've got such a husband from somewhere else. Why? It's like, oh, I couldn't find someone within my community, or like I looked and there's like, so at least that those people, if their excuse or if that reasoning was legit, they would have someone to help them or assist. I don't know. What do you think, Lyndon?
I think what they've just showed us was basically a dating app taken out of your phone and just in real life. That's actually all it is.
Matchmaking.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more
I think dating.
sophisticated.
Obviously, because it's a human person doing all of the, and obviously she's only dealing with 100. She said she's got 135 people she's dealing with. She's not dealing with millions or thousands or whatever. So obviously, it's a boutique. When you've got a boutique firm doing anything, there's more attention put on that person. But obviously, if you're on Tinder or Bumble, all that kind of stuff, that thing doesn't care about you. But this woman obviously does care about getting these people matched, right?
Yeah.
But it really isn't much different to a dating thing, because the information you can put on a dating app is literally the same as the information you can put on Sima Auntie's thing.
I think I agree. It's a bit more bespoke because you can have the conversation and she can look for someone and it'd be much more tailor made than you can ever give a computer. And also she's speaking to other people for recommendations of people who they know who are single. Yeah. So it's like people speaking to people. It's not even like it's not only one person looking.
I quite like that though, because didn't we speak ages ago about dating and almost getting some sort of not recommendation, but just it's almost like a sense check of like people like, oh, what do you know about that person?
And someone be able to vouch for them.
Exactly. And I think that's what she offers. Yeah. Maybe that you don't get on any other dating app because, like you said, they're not there to help you. They're not there to advise you as such. They're just there to give you an opportunity.
And something so personal and complex, there's only so much a computer can pick up. And I think also the fact that she does things face to face, and I'm guessing that people start speaking to each other face to face. I don't know if they start speaking to each other online.
No, I think it's face to face.
No, once they decide, I'm gonna meet. She gives them 3 people. Choose one. You choose one, then you go and meet them.
Yeah. You don't talk to them on the phone first.
No.
I don't think
so I think that also makes it a more closer to an authentic. For example, the best way, I guess, or the most desired way of meeting someone is to meet them just naturally. Anyone just wants to be able to bump into someone, have a natural conversation, and I think this is closer to that than say Bumble, Hinge, or any kind of online Instagram, whatever, because you are having a normal like meeting and talking. Maybe it's a bit more forced or like cultivated. I don't know. It's not authentic in terms of the way you find the person. You look at a CV, but from then on, they try to make it as authentic as possible. Like
so let's cut to the chase here. Is this something that you two would want to have in your life?
She said,
I want you to remember this.
He said, cut. He said, cut the crap.
This, right?
He said, you're doing one graduation.
Butter. Just taught the things.
Yeah. So would you like to be? And remember, it involves your parents very closely.
That's true.
Very
Yeah,
close.
got
Oh,
that.
is it?
Yeah, it does.
She says she leaves, brings the parents in to guide the child. So do you want your parents
How much guiding is it?
helping you
I
choose
want to
your
know.
husband? Do you
Is
want
it like, oh, you might need to take a left, or is it like the parents snatch the word and
It
do
depends
this?
on depends on the type of
mum
parent.
was very much like, very
And the
much.
partner's very. She's
To be honest,
like,
my parents are very chill. My parents are very chill when
no,
it
they don't
comes
have
to
to get
that.
involved with this.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so if it depends on the kind of parents you have, if that makes like in terms of
That's not the question
kind
he's
of.
asking you, babes. He's saying, do you
Okay,
want to have a
do you
matchmaker,
want-
yes or no?
As you understand the question
want an
so well
African
and in
auntie?
depth,
We're not going to do that today.
you start.
No, because no, it's okay. Go ahead.
No. I want an African auntie.
Mm-hmm.
I've got several.
Okay. No. Okay. Let me be very clear. Would you like a black matchmaker to
Yeah.
help you find a husband?
How do you know I don't have a husband?
Right.
I'm joking. Okay. Let me answer the question before anyone gets vexed. Would I want a...
I don't need to. Don't.
No,
don't
I'm
repeat
trying
the
to
question.
think in my head. If you're bored, answer the question.
If you're
Who's
bored,
holding
answer
you?
the question.
Who's holding
Did I say
you?
I was bored?
All right. So I think if they were qualified, if they was qualified as SEMA auntie, I wouldn't mind actually. I think what I wouldn't want is someone who is, I feel like, colluding with my parents, or someone who is, I like the neutralness of someone who doesn't know my
I
parents
did not
and
know
is
that.
trying
I
to
like the fact
balance
that she
it.
was actually an independent person.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So I wouldn't mind the fact that you're independent and the fact that you have the like qualifications, I guess, to do that. You are qualified.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just think that when I think of an auntie, someone older coming to help the guide, it's always nearly like an extension of an arm of the parents.
Yeah.
That's what I wouldn't want.
Okay. I would have to before I come to you. I have to say that I don't think most Indians. I don't know if everyone has a matchmaker, but a lot of them still do have arranged marriages, and sometimes it might be the parents colluding with somebody else's parents to put their children together. I don't know. Haven't asked any Indian people that I know of anything, but I don't think that they all have a matchmaker. I'm not sure if they do. But in any case, would you like a
Would I
black
like it? A black-
matchmaker?
I can answer very quickly. I'm for anything that leads to black love, to be honest, and the empowerment and the growth of black families. Absolutely. So yeah, I think I don't. If I'm really honest, I'm very stubborn and I don't like to be told what to do personally. So in a similar vein to Andrew talking about parents colluding, I don't like that stuff. I mean, I'm my background. Okay, so I'm Caribbean. Obviously, we're all from Africa. I actually have an African uncle who presented me with somebody last year. Do you remember? And and I was like, oh, how do I navigate this conversation?
See?
However, no, but that was very different
But just because someone presents
just
you
because
someone,
that's
you don't
not a
say,
match-
"Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Let me let me get them." That's not.
When you're saying, would you want to go to matchmaker? You're saying, as a person, you've decided, I'm in a particular position and phase of my life now where I'm ready to kind of welcome and open that conversation and anybody that comes out of that. That wasn't what happened last year with my uncle. I felt like I was bamboozled. Anyway, it was well-meaning and I really love him for that. But yeah, I think our culture could benefit from it. In fact, I think our culture does it. I just don't think it happens.
Who does it?
I think that there's matchmakers going on. Yeah, I've said this already. From like in the higher echelons of society, people out
black
there
society?
saying, yes, I think it happens.
I
think
disagree.
really?
I
I
think
don't think that
I think
parents are out here saying, oh, let's go to this party, and they're subtly trying to navigate and say, oh, you should consider this kind of person or that kind of person. What? You think people out there who have multi-million, billion-dollar industries and have that
Can find
old,
people that they want.
yeah, or maybe they are
By
in
themselves.
scenarios where they're being like gently nudged towards this kind of person or that kind of person in that society.
They don't have to though, do they?
Why don't they have to?
Because they're their own person. They don't have to do anything that anyone else tells them to do, especially if they got multi-millions. Why
well,
they
yeah,
got
right.
someone else telling them what to do?
That's not what I'm saying, Lyndon. I'm saying, do you think that the parents of children who are set to inherit huge amounts of wealth or organizations or whatever, their parents are not gently saying, what about this person, what about that person?
In certain-
You think they're saying,
in
oh,
some-
marry anybody?
Yeah, in some cultures, but not in my culture. Not as a Jamaican person, no.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe Nigerians do it. Maybe Ghanaians do it. Maybe
I think
someone else
Nigerians
does
do.
it.
I think
But
Nigerians do.
not in my
100%.
culture. It's not in my experience. And
It's not my
I wouldn't
experience
like
either.
to be involved in anything like that. Get out of my way. I will find someone I want.
You know, Lyndon don't like those things there.
And
Wow.
sitting down with a matchmaker, telling a matchmaker what I want. No,
Do you know what?
no.
This is actually. I
They
don't
don't
know why
like
I'm
them
shocked.
things.
I don't know why I'm shocked because Lyndon does not like
to do
interference.
whatever he wants to
He
do.
says no. Not only that. It is, I don't want anyone in my way, and I'm sure enough not meddling in anyone else's thing.
That's true.
So that's your energy through and through, and I think, I don't know why I was shocked. In my community, they do that without you even being consulted, but not to the extent of,
I think that's good. I think that's only beneficial.
it's a novelty if it happens once in a while or
what if it
once
happens-
last year.
what if it
But
happens and it works and you meet somebody-
No, babes. I've got friends who receive pictures of random guys and say, look, this boy, he's seen your picture, he likes
That's a
you
bit
things,
much.
but could you contact them? And it's like, why? Like, I think sometimes the line becomes blurry if it's not done professionally. The line becomes blurry because there's no clear line of when the guy picks up the drive and the person steps out. And sometimes the parents can be doing it for the person, and also you can't even tell in conversations how you can't really tell what is it the parents wanting you
Yeah.
for, or like it's very weird.
Yeah.
And also you create a space for lazy guys. Now saying that, I think that maybe there should just be some people to give point people in the right direction rather than drag people together. I think that would be more helpful, and I think it won't encourage lazy behavior on either side. But I think sometimes the people who actually would benefit from this service is more of a point in a direction rather than a force.
Okay.
I think it would be good to have some sort of like somebody vouching for you.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that aspect
Oh,
is
absolutely.
really important.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you were to meet somebody, like if I met somebody walking down my local high street, oh Lord, God forbid, Kilburn High Street. Actually, why not? Kilburn
Who
High
knows?
Street.
You
Who knows?
are a girl of caliber, and someone else might be walking down there. Maybe they're on their way to Cricklewood or Maida Vale.
Maida
somewhere.
Vale, please, or St John's Wood, and they got lost. Anyway, the truth is they're a stranger, and it doesn't matter how nice or how charming they might be, right? You don't know them. You have to actually go through a little bit of time with that person and kind of see them in different scenarios to really figure out who they are. So with the matchmaker, at least you kind of get a sense of maybe they're some kind of decent person. They're not going to try and kill you or chop you up. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one thing. If I ever met someone who was not only Rwandese but East African from anywhere in the world, I could get someone to either vouch for them or tell me to stay away.
Yeah.
Like I could give the name and they would give me a proper like, this is this person, this is their family, this is what we know of them, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
We would advise that you stay away. We would advise that actually this is a good person.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for them.
Angela, how important is it for you to marry someone that's also Rwandese?
Not.
Okay, fair enough. Done. Right.
Would you marry a Jamaican?
Yes.
Would you marry a Nigerian?
I've married anyone that loves the Lord and loves me. Have I answered your question?
You have.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Slap and clap. Let's go.
Okay.
I want to slap and clap two people that are in the same situation.
Oh, I hope it's not mine, Lyndon, because every time we had the same ones, I always concede, and I don't know why. You're not even older than me, so I don't even have to respect you as my elder.
You call me elder when it suits you.
No, I call you elder because it's the truth. How about that?
Have you said?
It's the truth in my heart. How about that? Now you can't argue with me.
Okay, no, I've got nothing to do with that. Yeah. All right. So can I go first?
Lyndon, what's meant to happen is someone's meant to say, Lyndon, who do you want to
We don't.
slap?
Okay, go on then. Ask
Lyndon,
me.
who do you want to slap?
I want to slap a guy who claims his name is Billy Steele, right?
Huh?
He claims his name is Billy Steele. I don't know what his real name is.
Okay.
He was a racist man who was on the train, and he was saying some racist things to a few black men,
Yes.
black guys.
Yeah.
And he was saying things like to tell him to go back to where they came from. This is popular. You're black. You're nothing. And he was
Imagine
just-
someone saying you're black because it's popular. Wild.
No, he's saying it's popular to be racist. That he was saying, this is popular. He's chatting all this nonsense, right? So he was talking all kinds of racist stuff, quite bold and brazen. And he stood
on the central line.
Yeah. So I want to slap him for being racist, but I want to clap the men that dealt with the situation, because I think they were quite young, actually. 3 young black boys.
They looked young.
They walked past slowly, and as they walked past slowly, Billy Steele kind of stood up with his fists were ready, right? And he was standing like, yeah, what? Yeah, I've been racist. What are you going to do?
How you know that boys assess situations differently? Because I didn't see his fists were ready.
Oh, his fists were like that
Yeah.
the whole time. He stood, look at him in the face, and they were about to get off the train, and then one of them gave him a nice right hook. And as soon as he got that right hook, he gone. Knocked
flew
out.
through the air.
He fell through the air and was out. Cold.
I think I like that. I felt like the stamp on the arm was a bit excessive, but you know what?
But it would be a bit hyped though.
In for a penny, in for a
bombed.
pound. Is that makes sense in this situation?
Might as well, he's down, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was down. He was cold, and I thought this is what I like to see is justice.
When
I know
he
it was
when he
violence,
wakes
but
up,
he deserved that violence. It was such a sweet, and it didn't look like the kid was big either.
No, he didn't
But
look
that
like he was.
that punch,
He knew how to throw a punch.
He really knew how to throw a punch.
he was charging it up all the time. He was saying
Yeah.
things. He was in the corner doing this.
I think they had a conference. The 3 black boys said,
Oh, absolutely. That was
who's got the hands?
that was synchronized. That was definitely choreography.
They're like, it's you. You got a hand. You know. You got
Yeah,
hands.
that was
Right,
choreography. He said,
it's
we're
me,
gonna
it's
walk
me.
off like we're doing nothing, and then 10.
It was beautiful. And then when he was on the floor, the women, somebody was helping him put him in the recovery position. Then another woman was saying, "No, leave him there, leave him."
I think I saw somebody checking his pulse. I thought he's all right. He's not dead.
They
He's
thought a
just
punch killed him.
dazed.
They
Come
thought a
on.
punch killed him. No, that's what knocking out means.
They're trying to put him in the.
Also, I heard someone
recess.
say on the audio, "Oh right, okay, press emergency button." And I said, "Do you know what? Everyone's going to be angry today."
They
because-
tell you on the train, if you can wait until the next stop, please do not press that. That man could wait until the next stop. Let him lie there and think about what he did. When he wakes up from that dream, he'll have a better
I couldn't
understanding.
believe how he was out cold. Just
I didn't expect it. I was watching. I was thinking, "Oh, how disgusting!" And these poor. I always get angry when I see young black boys. Those are my brothers. Like, and I think about if they were out with their friends and what they would do and what they would want to do and what they feel like they couldn't do. But that day, the young boy said, "Nah, let me tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna deal with you today." I loved it.
You know, I know how they. Because if I was that age, I know who in my friends who we'd send to give the box.
Who is it?
No,
I'm not
don't
gonna
give them
say.
their name.
Oh, Lyndon. It's
You know
Black
who it
Lives
is.
Matter.
He would be the one to
I
give
don't
the
know who
box.
it is, but now I think
Yes,
I
you
do.
Don't say his name. It's all right. Let's
I'm not
not
gonna
implicate
say
him
it.
in a crime that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Angela, who's your slap?
So I feel like my slap.
Do you
is-
have someone?
Yeah. I've been sending you. No, don't. I'm surprised because I've been sending you potential
All right,
slaps
get to it, get to it,
all
get to
for a long time.
Okay.
We're still in focus?
Yeah, we're still in focus.
All right, let's go.
Sing on.
Guy, okay, my clap will also be for my eyes because you guys, if it wasn't for my eyes right now, would not know if we're in focus or not. Right.
Right.
So my stuff, I feel like it's kind of out of date, but it is what it. No, I'll do this slap instead because I was gonna slap Tyson Fury, but I think you know what?
I'll ignore him.
I'm
but no,
it is what it is. It actually has something to do with our topic today. So Kamala Harris, people really, especially the white conservatives. I don't know who gave them the platform, the accolades, the qualifications to judge who is black and who is not black. But they're really speaking out on who is black because they want to make it. They're trying to. This is what they did to Obama. They're saying he's not American. They're saying
Yeah.
he's not black. And I just feel like just briefly because we've already spoken about it at the beginning of the podcast. You're not in any position to tell us who's black and who's not black. One thing's for sure, you're not black, and you have
Yeah, someone's find one.
you have no. You don't have anything that you don't have our best interests at heart.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So just leave us alone. while people are trying to figure out whether they support or they not, they don't. Just leave us alone. And I'm just tired of it. This is exactly the same. It's literally play for play what they did to Obama, and it's just like it's old now. Like at least find some new tricks. Let's figure out if your president is even a human being who has the full mental capacity. Let's figure out that. Don't figure out people's races and trying to figure out if they're black or not. That's not your business.
As soon as they find a black person to represent them, they can talk. They can't talk now.
No. So that's that. That's who my slap are for all of the white conservatives, Fox News, and all stations like that who just want to chat and talk about who's black and who's not black. I don't think that's what that's not your biggest worry right now. No.
Fabrice, who are you slapping?
I'm glad you asked me, Lyndon. I want to slap two people, to be honest.
I nearly slapped her.
So Angela's cousin, shout out to her, Tina, she messaged me and sent me this message.
She sent me too.
I said, I've had enough. Jeffrey Marty, you might not know who he is, and to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't. He's married to Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash, who doesn't think that she's black. Stacey Dash, I can't talk about her because she actually makes me angry. Stacey Dash is now separated from this man, and basically Jeffrey Marty is divorcing her because he claims he was hypnotized into marrying her and he wants their marriage annulled. So basically he's saying he only married her because the pastor put pressure on him and other people in the church.
And the pastor was saying that it's God's will.
And the pastor saying it's God's will. And they got married on the 6th of April, but that's only because 10 days previously he claims her pastor said unexpectedly and suddenly proclaimed that it was God's will they got married. So I'm like, first of all, sir, 2020.
How old is he?
He's a big man.
He's a big man.
When I read it, I actually said, what episode of 2020 are we in? Because I can't believe this is what he's saying. Not that they've drifted apart. Not that he doesn't like her. Not that he didn't know that she was black, because that would make more sense to me. He said, I was
She's very obviously very black.
Yeah, but she's stupid. And I don't claim her as a black person. She can go with other people. She can be out, and I don't care.
She's a lost one.
She is. She's in the sunken place. In fact, to be honest, the two of them in the sunken place together, because he fully believes that he was hypnotized into marrying her. I've seen it all. So yeah, I'm slapping him, and I'm slapping her too because of her previous crimes.
I don't even think she's in the sunken place. I think she's the gatekeeper for the sunken place. That she welcomes people in.
Yes, she does.
Like I don't think she's there. She's not there unwillingly. She's there willingly. And preparing a place for others.
A few days ago, Stephanie forced me to watch Clueless.
You've not seen it before?
I have, but she felt like I haven't actually watched I watched the series, but the film I didn't really watch. And Stephanie made me watch it. That's all. No. And she looked blacker then.
I feel like she was nicer. She was gorgeous, and I feel like she was nicer then. And when she was in Kanye's All Falls Down video, I still feel like I supported her. And then something happened somewhere.
I think some people in America
wires detached.
I think people in America do anything for money. I think Fox News came in. Hey, would you be our coon for the day? Yeah, cool. How much you paying? All right, cool. Let's do it.
Her and Terry Crews. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't talk about I talked about Terry Crews this morning.
So because I've clapped somebody already. The man them that punched Billy Steele. Angela, who are you clapping?
So my clap today. Again, can you see I've got a clap and a slap?
Friend?
Continue. Again, I'm going to tell you to make some Holy Ghost crazy noise right now.
Right now, let me hear you.
Let me hear you. Okay, so my clap goes to Black, East African, SDA excellence. Someone say hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, right. So today I was looking at the Shade Room. Shade Borough. Sorry. We will make it to Shade Room, don't worry, in Jesus' name. I was looking at the Shade Borough and I saw a familiar face come up on the timeline. And the post said, this 25-year-old black pharmacist, can we say hallelujah for black excellence, has written an educational ebook on skincare for women of color.
Amen.
Black men that have colored skin too.
Yeah, it's not black. It's not women against men every time.
No, I'm joking. Yeah,
is it? Is it, Lyndon? No, it's not. Right.
What about my skin?
Ask your barber, innit? So, Skin Secrets, the ebook, discusses the science behind skincare, written and curated by a Black pharmacist and skincare consultant, Angela Mavala.
Amen.
Everybody clap. Addressing everything from acne to self-esteem, skin secrets. Oh no, self-esteem. Skin Secrets is a not English.
You're right.
Do you know what? Excitement and English,
Angela.
everything is fighting. Let me take a break. No, wait.
Focus. We got time.
Wait. Let me take a breath.
Show
Let
the
me take
time.
my time.
got
We
time.
know the time because the time has been moving the same pace since we began. Right. You're going to give me my time.
Oh, no.
Okay. Let me start again.
From the top.
No.
Oh.
Addressing everything from acne to self-esteem. Skin Secrets is a no-nonsense guide to healthy skin. Learn to love the skin you're in. Hashtag Black owned. So my clap today goes to Angela Mavala.
Boy.
Also my namesake, I just realised.
Just
Thanks.
realised.
Yeah. Because I'm
Just
thinking
realised
about
you
other
didn't
things. Shh.
You just realised Angela.
So I just want to clap for her. And I just want to clap for just Black people out here who have got their businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I also want to clap for, just really quickly as well, Nella Rose, who has come out and she has started her clothing line, and she's sold out. And I'm here to clap for black women, because sometimes we see Black women on the timeline doing a madness, and I think it's really important to clap for Black women making business moves, especially young Black women making business moves, and even in the predicament that she's been in recently, has lost her other parent in other people would be taking time to step out, but she's really making moves. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that,
Who
but
lost a parent?
she's lost both of her parents now. Nella Rose.
Oh, really?
She lost her mum a few years ago, I think
know
3, and then she lost her dad this year. But yeah, she's doing big things, and she's sold out her t-shirt, her first, I think, run of t-shirts. So yeah. My clap is for her too, and all Black
Pick up
women.
herself. That's fantastic.
Fabrice, who are you clapping today?
Whoa, we said my whole name. So I was torn between two, but I'm gonna go for Afua Hirsch, who's actually like my fan of my life. First of all, I love her. Second of all, I bumped into her on Old Street, and I didn't even she was coming out of a cafe, and I was like, oh, that's her, but I didn't get a chance to say hello and say, oh my goodness, I love you. She she has presented, I guess, a series of short, a documentary, and it's on BBC4, and it's the African Renaissance. Basically, she goes to Ethiopia, Senegal, and Kenya, and she's talking about the arts, and she said in her own words, she wants to portray the African continent without the glaze of the colonial glaze, which I think is amazing. So many times on TV, you turn on the television, it's somebody who isn't Black and doesn't have that lived experience presenting, oh, this is amazing, and they did this. How about you just relax and actually allow people who are Black? And I think she's Ghanaian, isn't she? Yeah, she's Ghanaian. However, Ghanaian and Swedish, I think her heritage is. I think it's fantastic that she's presenting it. And I actually think as well, she would have had a different reception as a Black woman, or as a biracial woman, as a woman of colour, presenting this. And yeah, I don't want to say big at the BBC, because, they're out here calling us all kinds of crazy words at breakfast time a few weeks back. However, I am happy that she's been able to get this piece of work, I guess, greenlit. Is that the phrase? No. Well, greenlit, develop, whatever. And now it's out. So it's on Tuesdays, I think, at 9:00. So yeah, I'm clapping her.
She's half Jewish. Oh, didn't know that. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay, everybody. So for those who don't know who Lyndon is, Lyndon needs to go to Google to fact check things.
Yeah, she wants to make sure that
Just to make sure that we're
you're not
saying
telling
accurate.
him nonsense.
Yeah. I think it's so that if you go to a pub quiz, which I don't think you go to, and there's a question on Afua Hirsch, then he can rest in the knowledge that yes, Fabrice said she's half Ghanaian and half Swedish. That's it, friends.
That's all.
Follow us. Stay tuned. We've got an exciting announcement coming out in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do. We actually do.
Yeah.
That's why
A couple of exciting announcements. Did you say you were going to tell me about your birthday?
Why would you announce it now then?
No, because everyone was looking at me like I was crazy, and I said maybe I dreamt it.
Okay, right. Oh yeah, I forgot that it's my birthday, guys, and I'm accepting. What I'd like for my birthday is for everyone to tell a friend about our podcast. That's what I'd really like for my birthday.
It's not her birthday yet, but it's her birthday. Stay prepared.
Soon.
Yeah, stay ready.
Stay ready.
All right. Peace out.